They hid in deep woods, melted into city crowds, and vanished into thin air. For years, sometimes decades, their names haunted headlines. The FBI called them the most wanted. America called them ghosts. And what it took to find them would change history. From a cabin in the Montana wilderness to a dusty road in rural Louisiana, these are the biggest manhunts in U.S. history. Welcome to Echoes of the Past, where we uncover the crimes, injustices, wars, and untold stories history tried to bury. Here, we don't just tell you what happened, we take you there. If you want more deep dives into history's most gripping moments, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and join our journey into the past. It began in 1978 with a single package. No one knew it yet, but a quiet genius had declared war on modern society itself. He would kill 3 people, injure 23 others, and baffle federal agents for nearly 2 decades. His name was Theodore Kaczynski, but the world would come to know him as the Unabomber. A former math prodigy turned recluse, Kaczynski left a promising academic career to live in a remote cabin in Montana. No electricity, no running water, only a typewriter, tools, and a growing resentment for the industrial world. His bombs were handcrafted, wooden casings, hidden triggers, impossible to trace. He targeted universities, airlines, computer stores. The FBI called the case Unabomber, short for University and Airline Bomber, and it quickly became the largest manhunt in U.S. history. By the mid-90s, the hunt had gone cold. That's when the Unabomber made a daring move, sending a 35,000-word manifesto to the Washington Post and the New York Times. He promised to stop the attacks if they published it. Against all odds, it was his own brother, David Kaczynski, who read the manifesto and recognized the writing style. The FBI moved in. April 3, 1996, after 17 years, agents surrounded the tiny cabin. Inside, they found everything: tools, bomb components, and his detailed journals. The ghost of America's most elusive bomber finally had a face. Imagine recognizing your own sibling as the most wanted criminal in America. Would you turn them in? Tell me in the comments. April 4, 1968. The assassin was no mastermind. James Earl Ray was a small-time criminal, but that night he committed one of the most infamous murders in U.S. history. Ray fled the scene in seconds. Within hours, the largest manhunt in the world was underway. Over 3,000 FBI agents, local police, and intelligence officers scoured the country. Airports, bus stations, seaports, everything was under watch. For over 2 months, Ray eluded capture. He traveled through Canada, then boarded a flight to London using a fake passport. But on June 8, 1968, at Heathrow Airport, British police finally spotted him. He was carrying another false identity and a ticket to Brussels. In the end, Ray couldn't outrun the world. He was sentenced to 99 years in prison, and yet questions linger to this day about whether he acted alone. Right now, pause for a second and tell me, do you think Ray was the sole mastermind? Or was there a bigger conspiracy? I'm reading every comment. And if you're just joining our historical deep dive, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the next shocking twist in this countdown. His name became synonymous with terror. Long before September 11, 2001, Osama bin Laden was on America's radar. By 1996, the hunt had already begun. The attacks only intensified the search. But after the September 11th attacks, nearly 3,000 killed, the manhunt became global. Billions were spent, armies mobilized, entire intelligence networks focused on one man. For years, bin Laden vanished into the mountains of Afghanistan and Pakistan, shielded by loyal followers. Every lead turned cold. Every rumor led to a dead end. Until 2010, when a courier was tracked to a walled compound in Abbottabad. The building had no internet, no phone lines, and its occupants burned their trash. The CIA watched for months, and then came the order. May 2nd, 2011. SEAL Team 6 descended in the dead of night. 40 minutes later, the man who once brought the world to its knees was dead, his body buried at sea. For the families of the victims, it was closure. For the world, it was the end of a decade-long hunt. If you remember where you were when you heard the news, share it in the comments. Those moments are part of our collective history. And if you've been hooked so far, give this video a like. It tells YouTube that you want more untold history, and it helps us keep bringing you these stories. And yet, make sure you're subscribed, because the next manhunt on our list, it's going to blow your mind. It was Patriots' Day in Boston, a celebration of endurance, unity, and pride. But at 2:49 p.m., 2 homemade pressure cooker bombs exploded near the finish line of the Boston Marathon. In seconds, 3 people were dead, over 260 injured, and an entire city was thrown into fear. Surveillance cameras caught 2 men walking calmly away from the blast site, Tamerlan and Johan Sarnev. The manhunt began immediately. For 5 days, Boston lived under siege. Streets were empty, businesses closed, and residents told to stay indoors. On April 18th, the brothers killed an MIT police officer and led law enforcement on a high-speed chase through Watertown. Tamerlan was killed in a shootout. Jahar escaped, injured, but still armed. The next day, a homeowner noticed blood on his boat. Inside, thermal imaging revealed Jahar's hiding spot. Hours later, he was captured alive. Imagine an entire city shutting down to catch 2 suspects. How would you feel living through that? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this story has you on the edge of your seat, hit that like button. It really helps us keep telling these stories. New York, 1976. A city that never slept was about to be gripped by terror. Someone was hunting young couples at night, shooting them at close range. The killer sent taunting letters to police, calling himself the Son of Sam. Over 13 months, he killed 6 people, wounded 7, and sent the city into panic. Women dyed their hair, couples stayed home, and 300 police officers worked the case day and night. The break came when a woman reported seeing a suspicious man near the scene of the last shooting. His car had a parking ticket, one that led directly to David Berkowitz. When police searched his car, they found a gun, maps of the crime scenes, and another chilling letter. On August 10, 1977, Berkowitz was arrested without a fight. His reason for the murders? He claimed a demon-possessed dog commanded him to kill. Do you think Berkowitz's story was pure insanity or just an excuse? I want to hear your theories. And while you're at it, subscribe so you don't miss the chilling final story in this countdown. It's a classic that changed law enforcement forever. In the early 1930s, during the depths of the Great Depression, a young couple in love became America's most infamous outlaws. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow weren't just robbing banks, they were creating a legend. From 1932 to 1934, they tore across Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana, committing robberies, car thefts, and murders. They posed for photos with their guns, daring the police to catch them, and for 2 years the law failed to do so. Finally, in May 1934, former Texas Ranger Frank Hamer assembled a posse. They tracked the pair to a rural road in Louisiana. On the morning of May 23rd, Bonnie and Clyde's stolen Ford V8 was ambushed in a hail of over 150 bullets. Their crime spree, and their lives, ended in seconds. Here's the question. Were Bonnie and Clyde Russell's killers, or rebels shaped by desperate times? Let's debate in the comments. And if you've been enjoying this countdown, now is the time to hit that subscribe button so you're here when we release the next story. From the forests of Montana to the streets of Boston, from global hideouts to dusty country roads, these manhunts proved one thing. No matter how long it takes, justice has a way of catching up. Some were caught within days, others evaded capture for decades, but in the end, their time always ran out. If you've made it this far, you're clearly as fascinated by history's untold stories as we are. So here's your mission. Subscribe right now, tap that bell, and join our community of history hunters. Give this video a like so more people can discover these gripping moments from the past. Next time, we'll take you deep into the mind of the Unabomber, his manifesto, his cabin, and the brother who brought him down. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.